You know, I wouldn't trade our guys who are at the men's retreat or in our church for any group on the planet. You know, you're God's mighty men. You're our mighty men. You're growing into be mighty men. Your battles now that you're fighting will bring you into that status of a mighty man of God. You know, I mentioned at the retreat, Pastor Jason actually remembered it. I forgot his name. His name was Eleazar, and Eleazar was the son of Dodai in 2 Samuel 23. Great verses. They're David's mighty men. They're listed. In 2 Samuel 23, verse 9, he was one of the three mighty men. He was with David when they taunted the Philistines gathered at Pas Dammon for battle. Then the men of Israel retreated. In other words, you're going to have friends, people from the church that retreat at times, give up, fall back, get knocked down. But look what it says about this Eleazar. But he stood his ground, struck down the Philistines till his hand grew tired and froze to the sword. The Lord brought about a great victory that day. The troops returned to Eleazar, but only to strip the dead. In other words, he fought his battles, he stood his ground, he gripped his sword, and there's piles of pornography slain all around him. There's piles of temptation that are slain all around him. He even had friends that gave up, went back from battle, but Eleazar gripped the sword, stood his ground. Journal on that. Remember your 959. Give God those 10 minutes a day. Take these scriptures. What an analogy. They came to find him, and there are piles of dead bodies, dead lizards, if you will. They were soldiers back then. I'm making it spiritual application to today. That you're fighting that temptation to go online and to compromise and to not have a whole heart. You're fighting for that whole heart. You're fighting for that purity, that be steadfast and unmovable that we talked about. But you got to stand your ground. You got to grip your sword, and you've got to fight. You've got to fight back. And there'll come a time where your friends will return, or God won't leave you alone. He'll send others around you. You know, what a way to be found that you were fighting so hard that they couldn't get the sword out of your hand because the Lord had brought such a great victory. God brought the victory, but Eleazar stood his ground. Are you standing your ground? Stand your ground. Fight for your freedom in Christ. Be the man of God that God's called you to be. You'll never regret it. I'm praying for you guys. Do the hard work. Fight the battles. And each victory is another little jar of honey, another little ministry to others that you'll be able to give. The wholehearted warrior that God has called to serve him. Bless you guys. I love you guys. Proud of you to doing the hard work. Proud of you guys fighting the fight. Stay in there. Keep going. God bless.